proud to be involved. I have some great friends here, people that I've known for 40 years. I'm just so thankful that you're here. As I mentioned, I get all the credit, but I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce my wife to you, who just does so much, so much. Originally, the original idea for the tournament was Virgil Bartolomucci, who'll be talking a little bit later. We didn't know really who we were going to throw the tournament for. My wife came up with the idea of royal families, and it couldn't have been a greater blessing that we had this opportunity to help these kids. Barbara, would you come up for a minute, please?
You guys will have to forgive me because I do not like public speaking at all. I'm very uncomfortable, so I did write a few things down of my thoughts just to tell you how I feel. The first thing I'd like to do is express gratitude towards the Royal Family Kids Camp, because it allows us to be a part of their organization through our tournament. It also allows us to be a part of it through our karate demonstrations midweek.
Thank you. Everything's down on paper. I'm going to read it, but it's really coming from my heart. As you know, we have this going on for the 4th annual. This is our 4th year. First year we had it at our studio. The next year we had it at the Newport Mesa Church. And then the last 2 years, including tomorrow, will be at the Calvary Chapel Gym.
I'm a little disappointed. Michelle guaranteed me that Virgil was so nervous he was going to pass out.
May still.
I was kind of looking forward to that. Well, don't let that senior thing get to you, by the way. First of all, Mr. Richardson hit on something that's kind of near and dear to me. We have a bunch of martial artists that got together and said, let's do this thing. Of course, it was faith-based. I understand that. And you think about people who got into the martial arts, their loved ones and everybody else who couldn't support them because they wanted to learn how to defend themselves. They wanted to learn how to control. And I've known him 40-something of those years. And I said, whatever you want me to do, I'll come and do it. I had no idea of the magnitude of this.
You knew you were making a speech, right?
Yeah, they told me 2 minutes before I got here. I'm not a great speaker either, Virgil, so we're in the same boat. But the bottom line is like Seagun had said, anything Mr. White or Professor White is involved in, we're in 100%. It's a great thing that he's doing, and single-handedly he brought this group together with his team, which speaks volumes for who he is and what he stands for.
I know I've made that Dublin trip a few times, Mr. Downey, and I know how long a flight that is. And for you to come out here basically for a weekend just to support this event, and then to get off the plane and hand us a very significant donation from all of your schools, again, speaks to what kind of leader you are. I'm very proud to ask my friend Eddye Downey to come up here and say a few words.
Ooh. Okay, well, it's just good to be here, and it's good to be among all you Kenpo people. I think the significance of the event for us is that it gives us all an opportunity to be together as Kenpoists.
People there are, no matter what he's doing, he always makes a point of coming over and saying, whatever Bob White needs, whatever you guys.
Well, I didn't know I was going to speak either. And if any of you in here know me, you know I'm a very shy and retiring kind of person that doesn't do well in front of crowds. So, but not long ago, I had the opportunity to...
Too much food. Thank you very much. I was very honored. I've known Mr. White since in the early 70s at the tournaments, and I've always thought he was a great man. My respects to you. I've always said that he trains the best fighters all the time, especially in the middle 70s when the internationals were a bit lean, you know. Remember those days? And boy, his people were just out there defending us during those times. When he contacted me, I was very honored. I've known him over 35.
You didn't know you were speaking, did you, Mr. Lee? He's been in a lot of movies, Big Trouble in Little China, been featured in all the magazines, all the news articles. He's known around the world. Mr. Eric Lee.
I didn't prepare for a speech
Can I say it in Chinese? I've been in the circuit for a while, and I just want to thank you. It's an honor to be here. This is for the kids. All of you, most of you, are a lot of teachers here, black belts. The kids and the students basically
For years, actually tested on the same day as Mr. White and Mr. Strain, who, by the way, Mr. Strain, you're making a speech as well. So I'd like to ask Mr. Bob Mitchell to come up and say a few words.
I was not prepared to say anything tonight. Mr. White the other day said, yeah, get up and say a few words. And a lot of people don't know who you are. I'll start off by saying we were talking about Mr. Parker touchiness. Instantly, I thought back in the old days. I had a string of wins at Mike Stone's tournaments, at his Four Seasons tournaments, and 2 tournaments in a row, Mr. Parker followed me in. Followed me into the locker room, and the first time he said, "Okay, if he throws a punch like this." Bop, 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 bop. Man, by the time I got out there to fight, I was all bruised up. So the next Four Seasons came along, and I got up.
Mr. Dye said, just put me on the last so I can just say, well, everybody said everything.
There you go. Ain't nothing else to say. But I've never met you, but I like you because you got shorts, dude. I like that. There you go. You know, we did, me and Scott.
I'd like to ask Mr. Sergio Correa to put the camera down. Come on up and say a few words.
Oh my God. Why I'm here? I think it's for 3 reasons. The first is the tremendous love I have for this country. The first time I was in America was exactly 40 years ago when I was a student, and I was in Muncie, Indiana for international student exchange. I started Kenpo in 1972 with Mr. Arturo Petit, who rests in peace. He introduced the Kenpo in Chile, and I started with him, and he invited Mr. Parker in 1978, and for me it was great. And I had a very good relation with him because with the students not always